Zork started to take shape, the diving suit evolved into an industrial...
Oh my, yo, hold on. Hey, how much is Switch 2? Night Rain, I didn't like that much. Like, I played it with Dawnfather, but I feel like Night Rain, to me, missed the mark on what made Elden Ring and Dark Souls so good, which is the in-game lore and the way you can go about the game at your own pace, which I did it pretty slow. Like, I really enjoyed the slow pace of the games. And of course, the bosses were tough too, or challenging, but I love the lore. I would read the items constantly. I would explore certain areas, certain regions, all kind of shit. Night Rain was, yo, get through this shit hella quick, beat some guys, get the weapons hella quick, fight some cool bosses, cool, end of story. It was more focused on the combat, which I thought was cool, but also you can't like perma level up. You have to always go through a certain area hella quick, beat some bosses, then you have to grind through that. So I think it had a cool concept, but I think, at least for me personally, in execution, I was a big fan of it. I'll be honest with you, I'm really not. So if Dusk was more like Night Rain, I won't play it. If it's more like Bloodborne, I'll play it. So let's see.
That word kept coming up when I sat down with legendary game director Hidetaka Miyazaki to discuss From Software's next game, the Duskbloods.
What word?
Drama. That word kept coming up when I sat down with legendary game director Hidetaka Miyazaki to discuss From Software's next game, the Duskbloods. Announced last year, the Nintendo Switch exclusive has been shrouded in mystery. The prevailing label that's been thrown around since its reveal is PvPvE, a term Miyazaki himself used in an interview with Nintendo. However, after spending nearly 8 hours with the network test in From Software's Tokyo office, calling the Duskbloods a PvPvE game feels limiting. Even Miyazaki told me maybe that wasn't the best way to refer to the Duskbloods. So what exactly is the Duskbloods?
Wait.
Then feels limiting. Even Miyazaki told me maybe...
Did you just transform into a fucking velociraptor and yeet some guy from the highest tower?
That wasn't the best way to refer to the Duskbloods. So what exactly is the Duskbloods then?
I don't want to get a Switch 2, but that's kind of badass. I ain't gonna lie to you, dude. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of like, wait a minute, bro. Wait a fucking minute. You have the backdrop of the Crimson Moon that's dripping. Why is it eking? What the fuck? Okay, so the Crimson Moon is just eking a drop on some Evangelion type shit, looking hella freaky. Crazy crimson backdrop with the fog. And then you yeet this guy off the highest tower. This is pretty intense off rip. Festival of sorts.
The closest comparison
you were called by Dusk?
is to board games. 8 Bloodsworn, the player-controlled characters, drop on can make is to board games. 8 Bloodsworn, the player-controlled characters... The closest comparison I can make is to board games. 8 Bloodsworn, the player-controlled characters, drop onto a map and are tasked with a series of free-form objectives that are rewarded with virtue points. Each match is split into 4 phases, and as it progresses, players with the least amount of virtue are culled until only 3 remain. The final 3 are transported to an arena to remain.
This is like Night Rain, in a way, it is. Moon, Blood, Bestowal, the final battle on the night of the dusk. The Grail beckons 3 Bloodsworn, but the moon tears will flow from one to another. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, the moon tears, not tears. The moon tears. So wait, the moon is tearing? That's weird. So the moon tears will flow from one to another. Okay, all right. So yeah, it's right here. So it's PvP.
The final 3 are transported to an arena to duke it out for First Blood, the mysterious substance that the Bloodsworn are vying for.
Whoa.
To duke it out for
Grail battle.
First.
You summon a wolf. That guy summons a dude or another dude. Someone jumps in the air immediately.
That the Bloodsworn are.
Then Myri's Bankai, a fat dude on a stroller, just comes rolling on in.
Vying for.
What the fuck is happening?
As you explore the map and complete objectives, you may run into other players. However, intentionally killing another player doesn't typically yield any virtue. There are exceptions to this, but focusing solely on PvP might get you cold early on. Instead, you could form a temporary alliance with another player. This gives the friendly player an outer glow and prevents you from accidentally targeting or attacking them while fighting enemies. That partnership ends if you and your new friend make it to the final phase. So how do you earn virtue? In any given match, there are a handful of goals that players can chase. Probably the most straightforward of these is to just kill standard enemies, which awards virtue to the players with the highest enemy kill count. Another awards the players who've scooped up the most amount of items. There are more direct ways to earn virtue too. Players can hunt down bosses marked on the map, or
item drop collection actually gives you more virtue.
Scout purple flame tombs that reward an increasing amount of virtue for each one found. These objectives are less competitive by design. If you initiate a boss fight, every player in the match is notified, and they are by design. If you
Holy hell, that's freaky. Oh my god. You gave a frog human teeth and 2 testicles under its sack?
You initiate.
What the? And then it has a split. Oh my god, it has rows of human teeth. What the fuck? And it's on a damn pile of bodies like it's Ludwig.
A boss fight, every player in the match is
that's a freaky fucking boss.
Notified, and they are given the option to warp directly to you and join the fight. Within these boss arenas, players cannot lock on or attack each other, keeping the focus solely on the boss. If you manage to defeat the boss, the virtue...
Wait, this is a From Software game?
Keeping the focus solely on the boss.
We have liftoff! Hello?
If you manage to defeat the boss, the virtue...
That's kind of crazy. I'm gonna let you.
Is split among the victors, and
I actually enjoy that thoroughly. Not even but PvP with Bloodborne vibes. Yeah, that's what it seems to be.
Those who warped there will return to their last location. These avenues exist so players aren't boxed into PvP in order to survive the colon. From Software wants to strike a balance.
I like this guy. I want to be him. I like this guy. You have missile launchers. You have a fucking rocket, like some sort of crazy Sentai Ranger rocket dive bomb. I like this guy.
Between PvE and
I'm a big fan of this guy already.
PvP mechanic.
Be the Asian, the Chinese dancer with the chakrams? No, fuck that.
In order to give players options. That said, there are instances where engaging with and killing other players is not only encouraged, but can shake up the leaderboard. At the end of Phase 2 and Phase 3, ritual sites appear on the map. Glowing pillars randomly appear within the specified area, and players compete for control. Claiming and holding onto one of these pillars nets you virtue points, but so does dispatching other players. In one game, I shot up the leaderboard and cinched my spot in the final phase because I abandoned these pillars altogether and killed as many players as I could. Of course, you could just choose to ignore these bouts and focus on other objectives, but you might find yourself way behind the competition if you did. Phases are quick and matches last roughly 30 minutes, so this time management aspect injects a lot of strategy into the Duskbloods. In any given round, you have multiple ways to accrue virtue, but you need to make quick judgments on how to best spend your limited amount of time. After a few matches, I found that killing basic enemies during the first phase was the best use of my time. I'd level up my character, and if I was particularly aggressive,
is that a boss?
I could claim the award for killing most enemies early on. In Phase 2, I would take down tougher enemies and bosses until a few moments before the ritual sites appeared.
Oh yeah, so it is like Night Rain, because Night Rain had phases too.
After that, I took down as many Bloodsworn as I could. In another round, I spent Phase 2 and 3 looking for the purple flame tombs and barely made it into the final phase.
The moon tears will be mine. Our turn has come.
For as many options as there are to make it into that final phase, it always comes down to a clash with other players. From Software did
Whoa, that guy did what now? He has lightning
From Software
teleportation?
did tease that there may be variations on this final phase when the Duskblood launches, but for the network test, it all culminates in a nail-biting PvP match between the 3 remaining survivors.
You ever okay, you ever turned
In
off this
between
Dusk.
matches, you return to the House of Night, a hub area where you can test out different Bloodsworn, presumably chat with characters, and look over tutorials and lore tidbits. This is where a majority of the Duskblood story unfolds, but entire wings of the house are locked off in the network test, so it's hard to say exactly what you'll be doing in here.
Okay. You're the new blood.
I won 5 games out of the dozen or so matches that we played, and every time I made it into the final phase, I could feel my heart pounding outside of my chest. Fundamentally, the Duskbloods plays a lot like Elden Ring or Dark Souls, but these are tense duels that almost feel like a 3-dimensional Super Smash Bros.
You just climbed up the fat dude and sucked on his neck?
The Bloodsworn can jump incredibly high, each are armed with short and long-ranged attacks, and the winning comes down to exploiting attack recovery animations.
Yo, no cap, if I lost that, if I got that far after 30 minutes and I lose by getting yeeted off the fucking map, I'm tight. I'm tight. I'm very tight. Nah, I'm having a day.
You can even win by knocking players out of
Like, I'd rather someone throw my game Mario Rivals, like, for
the
real.
arena. Zork, a Bloodsworn fitted with a bulbous suit of armor, has a skill called Human Rocket that lets
Bro, Zork summons the fat
him
dude?
fly across the map and crash into enemies.
I love it.
I witnessed one player get knocked off the arena because he wasn't keeping an eye on Zork. Alongside their bespoke weapons, each Bloodsworn has 2 unique skills tied to a cooldown meter. One is available at the beginning, and the other is unlocked after hitting a certain level within the match. Zork's basic skill is Human Rocket, and his advanced skill lets him fire mortar-like missiles.
Yes.
Albert, the slender, silver-haired fox in the trailer, packs a sword and a machine gun, while his basic skill lets him launch blood projectiles similar to the Reduvia dagger in Elden Ring. Meanwhile, Trang has chakrams that can be used as melee weapons or
Her name is Trey Long?
in Elden Ring. Meanwhile, Trang has chakrams that can
Trang
be used as melee weapons or thrown at enemies. Her
Okay.
basic ability lets her turn invisible, and her advanced skill summons a giant white snake.
Huh? Those without the grace of gold shall all seek death in the embrace of Trey Long's snake. What the fuck? Mesmer's flame? She has Mesmer shit? I ain't like, that's kind of fire. Yeah, Orochimaru shit, right?
There are 6 playable characters in the network.
Okay, Albert, Bloodhand Jan. I know everyone's favorite off rip, dude. This fucking weirdo, dude. Trey Long, Sniper, Leia, Senator Samir Patres, Zork. I like Zork. I'm a big fan of Zork. Zork is my boy. Yeah.
Work test, and each fits into a different playstyle we've come to
Pajamas, exactly.
expect from Dark Souls and Elden Ring. Albert and Trang align closer with dexterity builds, while Zork and his massive articulating sword is a strength character through and through.
Strength faith, boys.
Each character can be tweaked and customized, but these options aren't available in the network test. The only customization option we could enable were sigils. This is one of the Duskbloods' most fascinating ideas. Upon choosing a Bloodsworn, you can equip them with a sigil that alters their backstory and tasks them with a specific quest during a match. Rival Bloodsworn are assigned with passive sigils based on your sigil and unknowingly play a role in your quest. For example, one sigil marks another player as your sworn enemy, and hunting them down will earn you extra virtue. Another one tasks you with tracking down an old friend and forming an alliance with them.
Okay.
One particularly interesting sigil has you find your lost love, who also happens to be another player, and propose to them. It's not the first time a From Software game has touched on the theme of betrothal, but it's never been done quite like this.
Okay, you can marry another player? Does that That's for the couples out there, obviously. But what is that going to happen? Like what's going to go down?
This is where the
I'm going to get to it now.
Duskbloods drama starts to take shape. Inspired by tabletop RPGs, these sigils incentivize players to play out specific roles in the middle of a match. In one game, I was marked as someone's
no spoilers
enemy.
Too.
As the match
what
went
the
on,
fuck
I
is
noticed that one Bloodsworn wouldn't stop
PJs
as someone sworn to play out specific roles in the middle of a match. In one game, I was marked as someone's sworn enemy. As the match went
Is that universal or just him?
on, I noticed that one Bloodsworn wouldn't stop following me. Every time I'd stop to clear out enemies or pick up an item, he'd try to get in a few swings. Considering that PvP is de-emphasized for most of the match, I couldn't understand why he was so tenacious. It turns out I was marked as his sworn enemy and I had to adapt. Eventually,
really?
he did kill me, but thankfully there's no penalty from death aside from wasted time. Quote, we wanted to develop a system that creates unexpected drama and excitement alongside role-playing, Miyazaki tells me. While I wasn't able to complete all the sigil quests, the inclusion of these player-specific objectives certainly shakes up matches. One sigil had me play as an inquisitor hunting down heretics. By using a specific emote, a
Oh shit. Orb on the movements of planet of the Earth right here. You play as the Inquisitors now. And then what you get, like, you can torch motherfuckers? That's crazy
temporary
shit.
trail would materialize that led me to the Bloodsworn branded as such. It completely shifted my priorities for the rest of the match. According to Miyazaki, the sigils available in the network test are relatively simple, but they will get more complex. Either way, I suspect these sigils are tied to the Duskbloods story and its progression, two aspects that largely remain a mystery right now.
Castle, trains, and diving suits.
Despite not knowing what the Duskbloods is about, its tantalizing art direction has me excited to learn more. The gothic aesthetic.
So they got access to it early just to kind of really get the sense of the combat and then the mechanics of the game and then the point of the game.
Will certainly drum up comparisons to Bloodborne, but the Duskbloods has its own distinct vision that pulls from different eras and timelines. This is best represented in its cast of Bloodsworn. Each character comes from a different time period and region.
Really?
But they all
well, region, yeah, but time period?
fit nicely into that overarching gothic style. Perhaps the biggest outlier
Zork.
is Zork.
Ah. Zork fanboys! I'm already here.
His bulky
If I play this game, I'm playing Zork for sure, guaranteed.
suit of armor looks more like a diving suit than the plated cuirasses we've come to expect from Dark Souls, and his helmet features an extendable beak to help him drink blood, almost like a mosquito. Fascinated by his design, I grilled Miyazaki on how this oddball came to be. Quote, the original design prompt for Zork was a Bloodsworn risen from the sea, though he looks quite different
Risen
now.
from the sea?
I love Ultraman and Ultra 7, specifically featuring monsters rising from the...
I told you. What I say? I told you guys. I told you. Like, what is this Sentai shit? I told you. Ultraman? I fucking told you. Like, come on. It was right there. It was clear as crystal.
Depth, Miyazaki says.
So he's like a Sentai Cthulhu enjoyer, like from BioShock.
As Zork started to take shape, the diving suit evolved into an industrial...
Oh my... Yo, hold on. Hey, how much is Switch 2?
As Zork...
Yeah, how much is the Switch 2?
started to take shape,
Nigga!
the diving suit evolved into an industrial...
Oh, shit.
era steampunk-inspired unit. Despite the wide range of styles and influences, the Duskbloods world feels cohesive. These characters are pulled from different eras, but they all come from the same universe that Miyazaki conjured up. However, Miyazaki welcomes a tinge of chaos. The maps are just as diverse as the cast of characters. As Miyazaki cryptically put it, each map takes place at the dusk of humanity as these various worlds are falling apart. The theme that each map shares is that sense of ruin, a theme that From Software is no stranger to. But because there is no fixed era, the team is able to explore a wide array of regions, each with their own style and architecture.
Gothic Cathedral.
The only map available in the technical tests is Lowen Rose City, which mostly adheres to the well-established vampire mythos.
Oh, so then are there other maps that are like more sci-fi and high tech, or let's say other maps that are more Chinese and some sort of like mix of Chinese culture and also the, let's say, cryptic Bloodborne culture, like Gothic a little bit, because one of the characters is from China, obviously. So I'm wondering maybe that's gonna be a key thing here too. One could be a suburb where people just have pajamas because dudes wearing PJs. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But if they can change it up a little bit, with let's say they're not just old school, medieval, Gothic cathedrals, and you have more mixed matches. Let's say you have high tech cities, you have Chinese oriented cities. Okay, talk to me. Underwater temples and shit. Ooh.
Foreboding clock towers and grimy sewers.
Stop showing me sacks, man, please.
According to Miyazaki, there was a reason for this. Quote, "We went with Lowen Row City for the network test because it's very symbolic and matches the aesthetic of vampires. But it's just one era and aesthetic. Some of the maps that will be available in the final game are from completely different eras with completely different overall architectural styles, so there's quite a bit of variety to show multiple different eras of humanity's dusk. Lowen Row City might feel like an obvious location for a vampire game, but it still has that From Software flair. The bosses that roam the world feel plucked out of Miyazaki's worst nightmares, and the labyrinthian streets give way to some incredible views and a blood-red moon. What's really surprising about Lowen Row City, though, is its verticality. The Bloodsworn are far more agile than the Nightfarers in Elden Ring Night Rain, and the map has been designed around their heightened mobility. At the lowest point, there's a foggy swamp. It's not poisonous, luckily, home to these inky jellyfish creatures. And as you ascend, you start to see more of the ornate Gothic architecture that looms over the surrounding areas. It's not quite as big as Night Rain's Limveld, but there's a lot to explore. Part of the reason the Duskbloods and other From Software games managed to sidestep a lot of obvious tropes is how Miyazaki uses his inspirations. Quote, "From a personal standpoint, whenever I see something very interesting that I'd like to reference, it never really stops at that point. There's always things I look at and
always build on that. Okay,
wouldn't it be
fair
cool
enough.
if it was like this?
The artistic mindset he has is all on to build on that.
Into a constant flow of new ideas coming together and coming apart.
I the same thing.
Even without intentionally trying to make it original, it just becomes original because of all the other things I want to do with that."
That type of guy has a fucking minigun, and he just stood there from range and just cranked it. He just cranked it.
Coming together apart. Even without intentionally trying to make it original, it just becomes original because of all the other things I want to do. He juggled the boss. Vampires and Gothic castles are well-trodden ground at this point, but it takes just a few minutes of playing the Duskbloods to see all the different directions Miyazaki and the team have taken this familiar concept.
Wait, so do all these guys drink blood? I guess Duskbloods.
Candidly, the Duskbloods is not the From Software game I wanted. Coming off of Elden Ring Night Rain, I hoped the team would return to its single-player roots, but it's hard not to admire what From Software is doing. Taken as a whole, I've never played anything quite like the Duskbloods. It borrows ideas from PvPvE games and previous From Software titles, but it's impossible to pin down. It's not built on any pre-existing franchise. There's a lot going on in any given match, and there appear to be more tutorials in the Duskbloods than any From Software RPG before it. That not-so-gentle learning
tutorials gonna be boring.
Curve might
hop right into a shit. Fuck it.
Throw some folks off. The abundance of tutorials certainly threw me off, but once I settled into a rhythm and started piecing together its many mechanics, it became harder and harder to put down. The randomized variables within the map ensured that I couldn't rely on one specific strategy. The differences between Bloodsworn forced me to consider how certain matchups could play out, and the final showdown had my heart racing every single time. This is all steeped in a moody art direction that seemingly breaks common vampire tropes at every turn. With more maps, more Bloodsworn, and more lore to pour over, I could see myself spending dozens of hours exploring this world.
You went to the final fight area early?
After my preview wrapped, I found myself thinking about the perfect From Software game. I dreamed up a game that would have Bloodborne's Gothic aesthetic, Sekiro's white-knuckled boss fights, Elden Ring's expansive gameplay options, and Dark Souls' layered world design. A multiplayer component like the Duskbloods never even crossed my mind. But the more I got to thinking about this imaginary game, the more I realized that I don't actually want that. Distilling all those experiences down to one specific thing in order to Frankenstein them together shaves off so much of what made those experiences special. Perhaps the Duskbloods isn't the From Software game I was hoping for when I first sat down with it, but that's what makes it so exciting. Despite Miyazaki and
the guy with the
team's
PJs loves these
extraordinary
flamethrowers,
pedigree, they never seem satisfied or interested in resting on their laurels. I didn't think I'd like Elden Ring Night Rain or Sekiro either, but I ate my words on both accounts and sunk 200 hours into each. The Duskbloods represents From Software's penchant to upend expectations and chart new territory. Regardless of the risks, it always seems willing to push its design and in turn puts players in new directions. After all, that willingness to take risks is how Demon Souls reinvented the action RPG genre. I don't anticipate the Duskbloods doing the same for PvPvE games, but I think that desire to chase new ideas and experiment with off-the-wall mechanics is what I truly want out of a From Software game.
Pretty fun. Okay. I don't know. Oh, shit. I don't know if I'm actually going to buy a Switch 2 to play this game. If it winds up coming out later on other consoles or on PC, sure, fair enough. But I don't see me buying a Switch 2 for this one, even though it looks really good. I'll think about it. All right, like if I get gifted one because some mad lad wants to do it, fair enough. Okay, fine, whatever. Fuck, I'll play it. But outside of that, I probably won't play it. But it does look better than I thought it would at first, and the PvE aspect of it, PvP aspect of it. I'm not a big fan of PvP in From Software games as a whole, but this could be actually like, if I ever did get to it in the future, it could be something that I could really dive into. It does seem like this one is like, how do you say, Night Rain I thought was interesting, but also just like really like a remod of Elden Ring, and Elden Ring in of itself was way better, including the DLC. Whereas this one seems to be dedicated to PvP in a pretty good, meaningful way. The verticality, the techniques, the characters, the settings, knowing that you just have multiple settings that are not just, let's say, set in this area, but also you have, let's say, ones in the future. You have ones maybe that are underwater. You have ones that are in different cultures like China, or let's say maybe, I don't know, Africa, wherever, right? Like, that's pretty cool. Elden Ring on crack, yeah. Either way, though, the game looks fun and looks pretty intense too, honestly. It does. I won't deny that. I like the mechanics. I like the abilities. I like the settings so far, but I'm really curious to see the other settings too. So if I can, I will play it.